Is Brock Purdy the best quarterback in the NFL? All that and more on today's episode. You're listening to the Blitz Boys podcast. I'm Kaiden Jenkins, your host. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Kaiden Jenkins2. This is my co-host and my cousin Dakota McIntosh. You can find him on X as well at Dakota McIntosh0. Today we're going to be going over our notes from this week's NFL games. First things first, we're going to go into the 49ers-Eagles. 49ers stomped the Eagles, scoring 42 points and held the Eagles to 19. Brock Purdy continues to have a great season, but he is not the best quarterback in the NFL. He is definitely a top 5 passing quarterback. Next year, if he continues growing as a quarterback, he has a bright future ahead of him. With that being said, the 49ers beat the Eagles in an embarrassing fashion, scoring 6 straight touchdowns. The 49ers were and are still the better team than the Eagles. And I know this might seem like it's all opinion-based, but look at the stats. It speaks for itself. Yeah, that's basically all I got to say about this one.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles, they had an outstanding first quarter. At least their defense did. The offense just got 2 field goals, but the Eagles on defense, they held the 49ers to -6 total yards, but that didn't really hold up because they allowed 462 yards in a span of three quarters, 310 passing and 146 rushing. And that's you got to play consistent all the way throughout. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty statement opening quarter and stuff, thinking you're just going to come out, your defense is going to be dominating and stuff, but your defense has to continue dominating. And they came out, and then that second quarter, 49ers just fought right back into them, and 49ers just won that game. They just overall mentally, physically beat them down.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. It was clear who the better team was, and I've been saying week in and week out that the Eagles' luck was going to run out, and it finally did. So, with that Eagles loss, it gives the Cowboys a chance for the number 1 seed in the NFC and the division. So, we're going to keep our fingers crossed and hope that happens. Well, I am. I'm not sure about everybody else, but I am. With speaking of the Cowboys, we're going to move on to their game. The Seahawks 35 and the Cowboys 41. This was an altogether shootout. Both teams were amazing. The defenses could not stop the offense. That's the one knock that I have. There was not a singular punt in this game. It's the 5th time that's ever happened in a NFL game. Some people are saying the Cowboys defense got exposed, but I don't think that's the case. This is their 3rd game in 11 days. On a defense, that's hard, man. I don't think I could do that in 11 days, and they still played pretty good. I think they were just tired. Dak Prescott had another great game, and the Cowboys' running game seems to be working out its kinks. Deron Bland was exposed by DK Metcalf, but that was bound to happen. Like I'm saying, defense was tired, but he did come back and get another interception on the season. It wasn't a pick 6, but still he leads the NFL on interceptions. And now that teams think that they can target him more, I'm expecting some more. So don't be waiting around to see Deron Bland have his downfall because he's going to pick you off. So, but with that, this was probably the best Thursday night football game I've seen in a while. With all things considered, I've watched quite a few, and they're pretty much stinkers. So, this Thursday night football game was a joy to see. old man Geno Smith. I think personally, all jokes aside, he did play, in my opinion, one of his best games of his career.
Yeah, no, that's very well said. Because that game was back and forth, back and forth. I honestly thought the Seahawks were gonna win there a couple times throughout, but then the Cowboys just kept fighting back, battling back. Both teams combined to 817 total yards and a crap ton of penalties, dude. The Seahawks had 10
Yep.
penalties for
Yep.
130 yards. Cowboys had 9 penalties for 127 yards. 257 total penalty yards. Holy crap,
The
dude.
refs were definitely the star players of this game.
God, I mean, that's crazy. You don't see that ever. You you just don't.
And guess what?
What's up?
They still missed some calls,
I don't know
which
how.
is crazy.
How did they?
Because they were calling calls that they shouldn't have, and then they missed calls that they should have called. So it just continues to be a growing thing with the NFL. The officiating stinks, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. And Gino, he had a decent game. He went 23 for 41, 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. But Dak had a better game going 29 for 41, 299 yards, and 3 touchdowns. It was just back and forth. It was a really good game, like you said. It's probably like you said, the best game I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Now I like some defensive games, but those can get boring after a while. Especially if they're low scoring. An offensive game where there's some bright defensive plays per se. That's a cool game to watch because you never know what's going to happen. You're always on the edge of your seat to see who wins. So, but with that, we'll move on to the next one. We're going to go to the Colts versus Titans. The Colts scored 31 points and the Titans scored 28. Colts won in overtime. Titans just couldn't get the job done, but this game was way closer than anybody thought it was going to be. It went into overtime with the Colts winning, but the Titans finally got Derrick Henry going, and that benefited the passing game definitely.
Yeah, and the Titans they did their defense did a great job because JT's out for a couple games with that thumb surgery and stuff. So the Colts were really relying on Zach Moss and they're able to hold him to only 51 yards, relying on Gardner Minshew to carry the Colts to that victory.
Yeah. One thing I would have to say is, man, JT just needs to get a cast put on that right hand, carry the football with his left hand, and he's carrying the football with his left hand with his cast, just bashing people as he's running. Like
It's just
I don't know,
put
man.
him on the baseball field.
But
Put him on the baseball field. Have him run with the
yeah.
bat. Uh,
All jokes aside, we're gonna move on to the next one. Chargers versus Patriots. This is the lowest scoring game I think of the season. Chargers scored 6 points, Patriots 0. Neither offense did very much in this game. The Chargers need to find an answer for drops. The pass catchers just keep on dropping the football, and everybody keeps on blaming the quarterback, and it's not his fault. So, um, with that, they also need to find a way to incorporate Austin Eckler and get him going. I say this every week, but obviously they don't listen to the pod, so I'll let you say what you want to say on here.
yeah, Justin Herbert, he's a really good quarterback, and honestly, it's just his receivers and everybody just not being able to come down with the ball and stuff. They're putting butter on their gloves right before their game because they be dropping everything. I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
Yep.
get some new gloves. I mean, you've got to find a solution for
And
this.
it's not even like the ball was misplaced or anything. The ball is exactly where it needs to be,
Right in the
and it either
chest.
bounces off the chest of the player, or it just goes right through their hands, or it hits their hands and they stare at it as the ball bounces off of their hands. It's just wild to me that they are blaming Justin Herbert for these drops, and I don't think it's fair because his he, they just need to be on the throwing machine. They just need to be sitting right in front of it, just catching balls, catching balls, catching balls all week. No
Yeah.
practice, just wide receivers come in. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Well said.
So the next one we got the Lions scoring 33 and the Saints scoring 28. In the first half, it wasn't going to look like it was going to be this close of a game, but it did end up being pretty close. The Lions got it big in the first quarter with Derek Carr's first pass being an interception. I don't remember if it was a pick six or not,
It
but
wasn't.
the Lions offense did look, yeah, the Lions offense looked very, very good, especially the running game.
Yeah, I mean, they won it literally in that first quarter. That first quarter is what won them the game because the Saints outscored the Lions in the other three quarters. And at the very end, they had a chance to go down and win the game. And Derek Carr went out early. He's on concussion protocol again. And Jason Winston threw another costly interception, and the Lions were just able to just go and run the clock out and win.
Honestly, with that offense, if you're going to have Jameson Winston in, you need to be throwing slants, curls, and screens.
Dude,
Don't let him.
bench him, put
The,
Taysom Hill in, put Taysom
yeah,
Hill in.
yeah. That's optimal. But if you're going to have Jameson Winston, don't give him time to make a bad decision. Tell him you have one or two reads, slant or peel. It's up to you. You throw it to the wide receiver or the running back. One of those two.
Mm-hmm.
If not,
Yeah,
run. That Jameson Winston was good back in the day, but he's not anymore.
he's
And I can't
not.
stress that enough. They should definitely be starting Taysom Hill. He is the better quarterback.
I mean, just like he said about Zach Wilson, just his third position. It's not that hard. Just give him a chance.
Yep.
I mean,
I actually saw him on the sideline talking to the quarterback's coach, and he looked like he was pleading his case, but the quarterback's coach just shrugged him off. So
he shouldn't have. He really shouldn't have.
they have a strong chance to make a playoff push, and they're just throwing it away.
They really are. I think that's the worst division in the league right now. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they're one game behind the Falcons, who are 6-6, I believe, and it's sad to see. I really hope they make a
Yeah.
playoff run, but
Speaking of the Falcons, they scored 13 to the Jets 8. This is another game where the offenses didn't get it going, but both of these defenses look like they could be pretty good. They just need to work out some kinks.
yeah, I don't think the Falcons are if they make the playoffs over the Saints, I don't think they're gonna win a wild card game. I 100% do not think so, or the divisional or anything, because they they don't have a good offense, honestly. They don't have one that can compete with the high level teams that
They don't
really
have a
make a
good
playoff.
quarterback.
Yeah, Desmond Ritter is not him. He's not a franchise quarterback.
I feel like if the Falcons had, for all instances, let's just say they kept Marcus Mariota, they would be doing better this year.
I could see that. I mean, from Oregon, I'm a big fan of Oregon as well. He did well. Yeah, I think he'd be doing a better job than Desmond Ritter.
Yeah. Well, let's swap gears. We're gonna go on to the Cardinals versus Steelers. Cardinals 24, Steelers 10, and Kyler Murray wins his first game after being back from injury. The Steelers finally ran out of luck.
Oh my
They lose to the
gosh.
Cardinals with Kenny Pickett going down. What?
Oh, it's just
What?
I'm tired of their luck, dude. They're not this good. They shouldn't have the record they have. That it irritates me.
Yeah. But yeah, they lose to the Cardinals with Kenny Pickett going down to due to a high ankle sprain on the right side. They're not sure exactly how long he's going to be out, but with that being said, I'm just not sure exactly where the Steelers go moving forward. Considering they lost to the Cardinals, which is considered one of the worst teams in the NFL. Now, I do believe that they are getting healthy and playing better.
Yeah, I think so too, but I don't think Kyler Murray had too much of an impact on this game. I hate to say it, but I don't think he really did because I feel like James Conner was the person that carried the Cardinals to the win. He had 105 yards, 2 touchdowns on 25 carries, and I just think that he put them on his back and he just carried them through. Man, speaking of the
Yep.
of one of the worst teams in the league, go ahead and let's talk about the next team.
All right. So, uh, Commanders. I'll take a pause there just out of respect. So, Dolphins score 45 on the Commanders 15. Sam Howell is finally showing that he doesn't belong, only completing 12 of his passes with 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. Uh, can well, he only threw the ball like 22 or 24 times, but still, this is not a good showing. And moving forward, they need to put this game behind them. And the Dolphins just continue to beat up on the bad teams.
Yeah, that's one thing that I didn't think was going to happen this week. I thought the Commanders were gonna win this. I was hoping for it, but Dolphins are kind of like the Cowboys. They're beating up on the bad teams. They're starting to become a great team, and they proved me
Yep.
wrong this week. And for that, I do have to give Tua and Tyreek and Mostert, all of them, Jalen Waddle. I gotta give all of them a
A
little
Chain.
more. Yeah, I gotta give
A
them
Chain was
more.
back and had more yards than Raheem Mostert. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's just Dolphins are getting healthy again, and it's a good time to be doing so. Playoffs are right around the corner.
yeah,
You want to be healthy, so uh, considering healthy, I've said this once before, and I'll say it again: the Panthers, they need to give Bryce Young an opportunity elsewhere, or bolster up that offensive line to protect him, because the Panthers, they scored 18 to the Bucks 21. Um, so with that, it's just I feel bad for the guy, and I'll keep on saying it. So um,
yeah.
I don't know if you have much to say about this game.
I don't really have much, but yeah, they really do need to give him some protection and stuff, and give him a chance to show us really what he has in his arsenal.
Yeah. Um, considering Arsenal, the Texans, they just lost their best wide receiver.
Oh,
They still won the game 22 to the 17 against the Broncos. CJ Stroud is him, but Tank Dell is down for the count. breaking his leg for the season. He's out for the season, and we will continue to watch his progress and also to see how well CJ Stroud does with his other weapons. Now, they have a couple different options for weapons. They have Nico Collins, Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz. Two of those are previous Cowboys players, if you didn't know that. But yeah, it's just we'll see how well CJ Stroud does going forward, but I don't think it's going to impact him one bit.
No, I mean Nico Collins, he stepped up in this game and he was able to deliver once Tank Dell went down. He showed that he was ready for the challenge. He was ready to step up and be that wide receiver one on the team.
You could definitely tell that CJ Stroud got used to Tank Dell's speed because he was overthrowing Nico Collins there for a little while. Now, I'm not saying Nico Collins is slow by any means, but Tank Dell is definitely quicker. Um, so, yeah, you could definitely tell that he was used to throwing Tank Dell the ball because he was overthrowing Nico Collins, but he finally dialed it back just a little bit and started connecting with him. So, um, yeah, it's just we'll keep an eye on him, see how well he does. He is a MVP candidate, and so we'll just move forward. Next game, we got the Browns versus the Rams. Browns scored 19, the Rams scored 36. In Joe Flacco's first game of the season with the Browns, he completed just under 50% of his passes for 254 yards and 2 touchdowns. Granted, he did have one interception, but the better quarterback in this game was definitely Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, no, he definitely played at a different level. I know Joe Flacco's getting old and stuff. He's not who he used to be and everything, but that's kind of what you expect from old veteran quarterbacks as well, going against these newer, fresher, more energized players. And I will say he
Are
didn't.
you saying he's not Tom Brady?
No, he's not Tom Brady. I if there is a person I could see potentially further in the career being Tom Brady is Jordan Love. Yeah, I said it. I said it.
I
I
thought you were
said
going to
it.
say Brock Purdy, but okay.
I said
Moving on, speaking of
it.
Jordan Love, Chiefs 19, Packers 27. The Chiefs need to drop Marquez Valdez-Scantling and possibly Sky Moore. When targeting those two in the passing game, it hardly is ever a positive thing for the Chiefs. They definitely need a veteran wide receiver going forward. They missed out on DeAndre Hopkins this season, and they need to possibly draft another wide receiver in this upcoming draft. And they have everything that they need. I would suggest they do it in the first round.
Do you think that they should try to trade for Julio Jones from the Eagles? Since I know you said a veteran, and he's a great
No.
receiver. I mean, he's a
Uh,
little old now, but he
no, because if the Chiefs are if the Chiefs are smart, they're not going to give the Eagles any more draft capital or anything like that because Howie Roseman is a genius and he knows how to manipulate the game. He knows how to get good players for nothing and also sell not so good players for everything. So, yeah, it's just insane how well Howie Roseman does doing that. So I don't think the Chiefs trade for Julio Jones, but I do think, and I could have said this earlier, but the Cowboys might consider dropping Michael Gallup, and I think Michael Gallup could do good in the Chiefs offense.
yeah, no, I could see that just because Patrick Mahomes wasn't him in this. It was Jordan Love, like I said. Jordan Love is him. He went 25 for 36, 267 yards, 3 touchdowns, and had a passer rating of 118.6 compared to Mahomes, who went 21 for 33, 210 yards, a touchdown, an interception, and a passer rating of 79.1. I mean, that just kind of speaks for itself. And then Isaiah Pacheco
I
did.
mean, yeah, but hold on, wait. Let's talk about it. Jordan Love's wide receivers weren't dropping wide open passes as often as Mahomes' wide receivers were. That's all I got to say about that.
I mean, we said about the
When
Chargers. We said
Mahomes,
about the Chargers about Justin Herbert. I mean, everybody's blaming him and stuff for his receivers dropping it. So it's only fair we do it to
yeah.
the Chiefs too. It's only
No,
fair.
no, no. You were defending Justin Herbert. You gotta stick to one side or the other.
Well,
Definitely not blaming Patrick Mahomes. He is
no,
still
he's
one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in the
yeah.
league.
Honestly, yeah, he really is. He is. I'd say the best quarterback in the league. But Isaiah Pacheco was doing all that he could do before he got ejected by throwing a mean left hook when he was just getting pushed over and stuff and irritated and just got up, had enough on that interception. He just gave a mean old left hook. He had 10 carries, 110 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, I think that the Chiefs should have won this. There should have been a pass interference called, but Patrick Mahomes said that even though they didn't call that, he was pretty happy about it because he said that they were just letting letting the guys play, which he said that he liked. So
Yeah. And you're never gonna enjoy officiating because they're gonna tell you how to play the game, and nobody wants to listen to somebody telling them what to do. So, but with that, we're gonna move on to the next one. We're going on to the Bengals versus Jaguars Monday Night Football. Bengals actually win this game,
I know,
34
surprising.
to 31. With all due respect to Trevor Lawrence and all injuries aside, he is not on my top 5 quarterback board. Trevor Lawrence is at best top 10, and that's on a good day. There's no question about it. He is a good quarterback. But when you struggled as hard as you did against a team that is starting their backup quarterback, and also when you're struggling all year, I can't put you up there. Now, I'm not bashing him. I'm just trying to take everybody else down a notch. They're saying he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and that might be true, but he is definitely not top 5. There are 5 better quarterbacks in the league right now than Trevor Lawrence. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, I will say that he probably is the best quarterback in the NFL for his hair. He has super beautiful hair. I just want to.
Bro, I said, all jokes aside.
He's got good
Please,
hair.
no.
He's got nice hair.
He's got long white dude hair. Like, what do you mean he's got nice hair?
He takes good care of it.
He probably
It's
uses a
very
bar of
healthy.
soap on it.
I don't know. He definitely doesn't use that 3-in-1 shampoo. That's for sure.
Dude, I'm telling you. Let's stop talking about hair right now. We're talking about football. Hair does not make you better in football. With that being said, that's about it for the episode. If you have any comments or anything, just comment on this podcast here, and we'll get back to you if you want us to talk to us. If you want us to talk about it on the podcast, make sure you specify that. We'll make a specific segment for Q&A. But with that being said, thanks for listening to the Blitz Boys podcast. I'm Kaiden Jenkins. This is my co-host, Dakota McIntosh. You can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Kaiden Jenkins 2 and Dakota McIntosh 0. Deuces.
Deuces.